Hello, I am Jaime Elizondo from Real World Ranching, where my goal is to help you achieve maximum profitability while improving your land the fastest. Today, I am going to talk about how to make long-term decisions. As you may know, I own a grazing dairy in the hot tropics in the Gulf of Mexico, with a very dry tropical environment along with some irrigation. And today, I will speak of how to make long-term decisions that include all the aspects, not just economics or lifestyle or workload. So if you know someone that may benefit from this podcast, please share the link with them as it may help them to make better long-term decisions. We need to be more holistic than the holistic people, as we need to take everything into account. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that your decision feels good. A good feeling is very important. As a master once responded to the question of, how can I know that the decision I made was good? And he answered, inner peace will let you know. Of course, there is a long process that we need to make before we come to a conclusion. But many times we will be led by circumstances and others if we are smart and ask God for guidance first. It says in the Bible that he who puts his plans before God will prosper. We also need to be wise and do our homework. But even after crunching all the numbers, talking it over with our spouse and family, and making sure this is the best decision, we still need time to process all the information, consequences, and outcomes before we implement action. So I will give you a recent example of my own. As I said, I have had a great dairy in the hot tropics for 29 years. And it has been interesting, challenging, productive, and profitable. But even before starting the dairy, I had planned with my wife that we were going to retire to beef cows at around 60 years old, which I am over it now. To change from a grazed dairy to beef cows is a big step. So first, let's analyze the pros and the cons. A grazed dairy has the potential to return more per acre than beef. A grazed dairy has a weekly cash flow, which makes things easier in the planning side. A grazed dairy can also provide income from selling calves and genetics. Now the cons. A grazed dairy requires constant and intensive management, requires specialized employees and more of them. There are no weekends off. Lower real-life fertility on the cows. Less soil improvement and forage production as they need higher quality grass than beef cows, the dairy cow. The younger the grass is when it is grazed, the lower the total productivity per acre. We all know that. Next, I figured how much I could make per hectare with beef cows if I was selling breeding genetics with a shorter breeding season, which will allow me to increase stocking rate and simplify my management. So I evaluated how I was going to have enough cash flow to pay for the expenses until calves could be sold. And finding good workers for milk has been increasingly hard in my area. One of them quitted, another one had a swollen foot, so that rushed my implementation, as the decision had been planned since the very start, 29 years ago. What I wasn't sure of was when and how to do it. So I call this process God's way of leading me, and we need to allow God to lead us whenever we see his hand in our life. Now, back to the first question. Does my decision feel good? I must confess that I have mixed feelings right now. I just took the decision 2 days ago. But I am certain that I will not go back to dairy ever. I do have a good gut feeling and have peace knowing that God is in charge and that he will keep leading us. So what do the numbers show us? Well, we should make the same money, if we sell good and well-adapted genetics to other cattlemen who already have been noticing that my cattle are much better than what they can get from others. I have been implementing what I teach in the adapted genetics and selection guidelines in my herd for a long time. This means that my cattle have built prestige and I want to keep it. So I need to continue improving the adaptation and forage conversion efficiency of my genetics. And I know precisely how to do that. By implementing a shorter and optimum calving season on my now beef cows, we will better use the natural flow in my environment. And that should allow for a 30% increase in stocking. Now, let me tell you, I was already shifting from pure graze dairy to dual purpose graze dairy. So I already have some animals that are half-blood beef animals, Machona in this case. Then we will be able to allow our grass to grow for longer before grazing it. This will also allow us to carry more productive animals and increase the humus content in our soil. Beef cows don't require as high a quality grass as dairy cows, and nutritional adaptation in the Machonas will allow me for them to have good body condition, even under a total grazing, in the total grazing program, with longer rest periods. That means larger productivity or larger amounts of forage per grazing and per year. This is all explained in my total grazing program online course. Besides this, I will be able to stockpile grass in a portion of the farm for a whole growing season to save money both on hay and to greatly increase new humus creation. These two things, optimum calving season and implementing the whole total grazing program, should allow me to increase stocking rate by 50% in the medium term, 3 to 5 years. With the dairy cows, I had to graze at a younger stage my Bermuda grass, which is a warm season C4 perennial grass that doesn't give much milk after it is around 15 days old in the summer in my environment. By allowing that same Bermuda grass to grow for 30 to 35 days before grazing it, the roots will be deeper, they will be fatter, stronger, and regrowth will be much more vigorous due to the energy reserves in the roots. The productivity per hectare will also be higher. So there are many other factors we need to consider in making such a life-changing decision, and I would suggest you sit down with your spouse and write down in a piece of paper with the date in it your pros and cons of a long-term decision, whatever it may be. Conclusion and recap. 1. Long-term decisions should not be taken lightly. Need a lot of thoughts and consulting with the pillow. 2. Always, along with your spouse, ask God for guidance. 3. Do your numbers to the best of your abilities. If you're not sure, have someone knowledgeable help you. Two heads think better than one. 4. Consider all aspects, especially in terms of cash flow and lifestyle impact. 5. Look for harmony in your life and in your business, where everything should improve year after year. 6. Implement the total grazing program along with adapted genetics and selection guidelines to be able to get maximum benefits for you, your family, your land, and your environment. 7. Evaluate your long-term decisions by how they make you feel. Inner peace is very, very important. Well, I hope you like this podcast and you can put it into practice. Thank you, and until next time, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, or join us for the weekly email at www.rwranching.com/join. Have a great day.